Hello everyone and welcome to the first of what will hopefully be a lengthy new series, Simon Nott Zooms In, where I'll be revisiting some of the people I've been lucky enough to meet over the past 6 or 7 years, predominantly about betting, professional gamblers, bookmakers and the like, just been informal chat, 20-25 minutes. If you enjoy it, please spread the word, tell your friends, share it on whatever social media you use. That's the best way of getting the word around. The first one is with professional gambler Brett Lloyd. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, welcome to the very first of hopefully many Simon Nott Zooms In interviews. And today I'm zooming in with Brett Lloyd. Brett, you back winners all year, and now you're just holidaying in the sun. I mean, that's the epitome of what people think professional punting is, isn't it? Tell us where you are.
Currently in Pattaya. I arrived here on New Year's Day. I'm here till the 27th of February. And, nobody's enjoying the weather at home, or I can see of it. So there's no better place in the world to be.
Have you got the family out there? Or are you just out there on your own?
No, the family are at home. I need a rest from them. I got a very understanding wife.
You must
have. Well, she hasn't really a lot of say in it, but she hasn't got a bad life, so she's happy enough for me to come out to recharge my batteries.
Good man. So what is that? What you're doing over there then? Just literally recharging your batteries?
Yeah, I still have a play, but I still have a bet, and I'm not a big drinker or anything, so I go out once, maybe twice a week. But other than that, I do what I'm doing at home, in the sunshine.
So what would you be doing at home?
Thinking why at the moment I'd be thinking, is this going to be on tomorrow? Is that going to be on tomorrow? Where over here, I don't care if it's on tomorrow.
So is the tank sufficient that you're not really worried if you have a few barren weeks or months?
Well, it's like it's okay. Same as I try and get enough during the good times to subsidize this part of my life. And long as my family and children, I stay there for Christmas, and long as they are fine with everything, and I'm not begrudging them anything, I come away.
Brilliant. Please tell me you actually sit on the beach and tap away.
No, to be honest with you, the beach is about 300 yards to my right as we look, and I haven't been there at all on this occasion. I'm not a beach person really. I don't mind. I like going for a massage, a normal massage, by the way, and have a bit of food, and I watch the sport on the TV, and generally, all I do is,
I haven't been in Thailand since last time I was in Thailand was in 2001. Is it still as cheap as it used to be to live out there?
No. You could live cheap, if you eat the street food, which is nothing wrong with it, but like I'm very I want to eat English food in English restaurants, and it costs about the same as it would like if you went out in Cardiff or Bristol or Taunton, or it's not that cheap at all. You can live cheap here. You can have 60 baht beers, which is £1.20, and sit by the side, and watch the world go by, but that's not really what I'm about.
Okay, now a lot of people would have. Well, you're well known in the betting and racing scene, but a lot of people slightly further afield will have got to know you from the Betting People interview that we did a few years back. Has anything changed since we last spoke? The way you do things and how you punt?
Has anything changed? Affordability checks have they cripple everybody. I have got a well. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I think if the laws that be, when you open an account, you have the option to say to them, right, this is my comfort zone, what I'm in. While I'm putting myself in this zone, so if you let me go over it, you're in trouble. But while I'm within it, there is no problem. If you know, because so one person's £10 is worth more than somebody else's £10,000, and who are the people to judge? Who's right and who's wrong? So I actually think, like, obviously there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, but like I open an account, so then they speak to me. It's optional. I can opt in and say, right, as soon as I come to €2,000, I have to send you the stuff. But prior to my first bet, I have an option to give you a realistic figure, £10,000. Then I'm happy for you to speak to my wife, partner, boyfriend, whatever, whoever you're with, and as long as they are comfortable in that figure as well, that's fine. And but the minute I complain that you've let me bet too far or you've let me, go over my limits, that's me finished forever.
Yeah, agree.
Do,
Should
do
be.
you understand? Do you
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
where I'm coming from?
yeah.
So
You
so like,
can have it both ways.
no, that's right. So like, this is my limit. This is my happy. I'm happy for you to speak to my family, my wife, and if your children are old or whatever. And as long as I stay within that, we fine. But once I make one, once I go over that limit, that's my fault. I can't send you letters saying, oh, you've let me punt, I'm this and that. I can't do that. And then I think the whole thing would just keep work.
Yeah. Are you still punting under your own name then? Can you still get accounts?
No, I am gonna single account in my own name. Uh, is it a sign of success? Probably yes, but I think like there's got to be ways and means where like there, I'm coming into you a shop. I want to buy what you got for sale at the full price, and you won't let me buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I understand, you don't want to lay me 8,000 or two a selling you a little bit low. I get that totally. And I've since the boys with Dragon Bet, I'm very friendly with them. I have understood the bookmakers side of things quite a lot as well now. Whereas before I was solely the punters, right? You should be able to do what you want within reason. I do understand their point of view as well. I
It's
can
dog
see
eat dog,
both.
though, isn't it? It's dog eat dog. I mean, you want their money, they want yours.
It,
I
it
mean, if
is
you, I mean, is your betting still largely information? Have your contacts
solely
changed?
not solely information, same contact. Um, I can't help myself. I do gamble on sport, just as a pastime because it's on TV. Um, Information isn't frequent enough really for me to just rely solely on that. I haven't got the capability of just sitting still being bored. Um,
Do you make the sport betting pay?
no, but I don't fool myself that I do either.
Right. Okay.
I think because I bet on top class football, top class cricket, golf, it's virtually impossible to make it pay, in my opinion. But I don't mind doing the 3% of a few hundred quid to have the entertainment to watch. I'm quite happy to do that. It keeps me sane, for want of a better way to put it.
Okay. No,
And I do,
sorry, carry
sorry,
on, Brett.
and I do find that if I do have a bet on the Liverpool to beat Arsenal and the big bash cricket or whatever, it does prolong accounts a little bit because they can see like I am a punter as well, or whoever's accounts I'm using they are punters as well. So it's got its plus points for that as well.
What's the Have you suffered much from getting knocked on the accounts of people sticking on for you?
It happens, Shane, and to be honest with you, like if there's, I haven't got anybody that I know can pay that hasn't. Because but like if somebody got an account to me, I'll obviously give them a couple of quid for everything they do. But if something happens and you can't pay, yeah, it's wrong, this thing, but I ain't gonna put your name on Facebook and say how bad you are. But like consequently, if I then see you on holidays in Spain with your family, then like I feel agree. But that I got to be honest, that hasn't happened. It's happened minimal and very minimal amounts as well. So
So what is
you
the
know,
biggest issue is everything going along quite nicely? What is the biggest issue that you face at the moment betting for a living? Can you still make it solely pay to live on your punting?
yeah, I do nothing else. The biggest issue I have, well, same as everybody who makes it pay, is getting enough on. You know, if I could have 15 bets a year and have on as much as I wanted on them, well, as you're aware, I'd make it pay. But like that's fantasy, dreamland. You know, there is nobody in the world allowed to do that.
So if you've got
So
you're over there living at the minute and you've got a family to support back in Wales, are you,
yeah,
have you got like a tank that you've got separate for having it on?
no, never ever have. I'm not saying I do it the right way because I don't. I never keep track of bets. I never, because the reason I don't keep track of bets, keep track of a tank is because like there's one way I know makes it pay, and then there's the rest of life eats out of that tank. And I'm never going to be a multi-millionaire. I'm never going to be a millionaire because what I get I spend. I always got enough to keep going, and my name's very good. I got a few like things away from racing that get a couple of pounds for me to keep me going, but I just live for today, for want of a better way to put it.
Okay, now what if the rules have changed a bit recently about Betfair? Does that mean you're going to get stuck into that again?
No, uh, I in running, I was very very good at it. Results tell you that. Pre-race, uh, in play, like other thing, I'm not good enough. I can't, like, I never made it pay then. And I found when I was doing in running and I had a vast lot more money in the Betfair tank, I would play to much bigger stakes because the money, it wasn't figure on a screen. I've lived without it for 10 years, so I live without it from now on.
Okay, you were there in the glory days, weren't you, as well, the early days?
Oh, well, not quite. I weren't there in the beginning, but I was there within a year, and literally it was colossal. Like I've never seen anything, nothing like it in my life.
Right now, you also were doing stuff for charity. Is that still happening?
Oh yeah, as much as I can. Yeah. I got like the boys at Dragon Bet pay. I don't know if I mentioned last time. I have a mentally disabled son, 9 years old. Christmas time, the boys from Dragon Bet give me money for the whole class, the two classes, to take them to Folly Farm, which is like a bit of an adventure playground, see Santa and things like that. And like, you know, anything I can do. Do you know what I mean? Like buy them Christmas presents and just fantastic. Like it's a massive pleasure it gives me.
Okay, now but when we spoke before, you sort of interested in collaborating with genuine people, sort of sharing
Yeah,
information and stuff. Is that still something that you're open to?
yeah, still something I'm very open to. I'm still in contact with a couple of people three people actually, who you've actually interviewed, who contacted me through yourself. Uh, all very, very helpful, very, very, I got all the time in the world. I tried to help them, and a little bit of help is goes a long way. It's up to me how I equate, how I use that. But yes, I got all the time. I'm happy to help people as well. As I said previously, if I can help people, I will.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to get hold of Brett and you're genuine, give me a shout and I'll put you in contact. Is that right, Brett?
Yeah. That's
Now,
fine. That's great.
finally, we want to talk about you've booked me to do a few betting ring reports, or hopefully potentially write some betting ring reports from trotting.
Yeah,
Now, I've seen trotting on the trotting used to be something that came in the betting shop back in the 80s when all the racing was off. Apart from
yeah.
that,
From
and I've seen it in Belgium when we went to Ostend. Apart from that, with Andrew Lowry, that was.
yeah. I seen it. I
I
seen
don't
it
know
do that.
anything about trotting, especially trotting in the UK. So can you give us a bit of background on that?
Right. I'll start by saying, harness with today, people think harness racing is Ben Hur style racing. It's nothing like that. There'll be 2 fatalities in the whole of last season. So welfare of the horses, and people think, oh, the travelling community own these horses, they'd abused. They'd as good as if a horse from Nicky Henderson's and a horse from Rockalade, who's the champion trainer, champion harnesser, stood together, there would be no difference. Turned out, looked after, you know, everything is absolutely spot on. I would like people to, if there's a local meeting near them, which if I could send you a fixture list, just come have a look. Like, I'll put anything. Go and see the horses by the horse box. Go and see how well they looked after, how everything. And like I said, there was 2 fatalities last year. I don't think there was one the year previous. And in this day and age, I do think that the do-good people, is something they should look at. We should promote it as a sport.
So how many meetings? How many meetings a year are there? Is it sort of set up like point to points in?
Yeah, similar sort of thing. So it'd be roughly 60 meetings a year. There's 3 hard tracks, one just outside York in Greenhammerton. There's one in Tir Prince, in Tywyn in North Wales called Tir Prince, and there's one down in Swansea called Amman Valley. They're on a hard track, but the majority of the season is run like in a grass field. Obviously, the weather's a big thing, but a grass field, just like a perfect day out. You'd be amazed how fast they go, how competitive it is. And most of all, the big meetings, the couple that I booked you to come to, the bets. I'm not talking about the Star Sports bets at Royal Ascot, but the bets you report at a normal Cheltenham meeting or like an Exeter, wherever. I know it's gone a bit thin now, it's gone big, but them are bets slayed. No bet fair, no guide. You were your own guide.
The bookmakers, what sort of bookmakers bet there then? They must be quite courageous to turn up at those sort of meetings and take lumps.
Well, the one you would know is Pinot.
Yep.
Barry, for me, Barry moved the sport really, really forward in the early 90s from like £100 was a big bet to he would take £500. But now there's 2 bookmakers. Tim Brown, all strong, would lay you a fair bet. But there's 2 bookmakers now. BT Racing, which is my friend from up in Durham, and a gentleman from Scotland, John Smart, have taken the sport way, way past. Like you come to in the meeting last year, 7,000 to 1 was laid, 8,000 to 4 was laid, even £5 a common. They say they're common. There's only 2-3 punters who have them sort of bets, but they can get on.
Yeah. And is it like form guide or anything like that? Can you find it online?
Yeah. They're trying to do it. It's still an amateur sport, and they're trying to do it professionally. They have a race card, and all the results are on the websites, and the runners are on there. The cards are on there, like interviews, and there's a meeting. There's a meeting in Tir Prince, which was in Wolverhampton last year, with over £100,000 prize money.
Wow.
The right people involved, the sport could go forward. To get it into the betting shops is a dream. I worked with William Mills twice previously to get it in, and I know that Ben palled up with Pinot during COVID, and he done prices on there. I'm nobody to criticise any. I like Barry, but when you got somebody doing your prices that won't lay you their own prices, I think you're going to struggle. You know what I'm saying? I said to Barry, I said, "Oh, Barry, can I bet your prices?" No. And I contemplated. I didn't know how to go about things, to be honest with you. But how can I put it to you? we could have put it. We could have made it very, very successful for Star Sports joining in. All we would have wanted was Star Sports, just like a bit like we do the Graham Derby, not to that extent, the money by a long, long way. But we were happy to help for a bit of sponsorship for the sport, and and I did contemplate applying to be chairman of the. Darren Owen was the previous chairman. Darren Owen, the commentator. He did say to me, he said, Brett, he said, it's the hardest work you're ever going to do in your life. But having spoke to a person that you've interviewed is very, very highly in sport, he said, if you've got people at the top with self-interest, you can't get, you're wasting your time. And I am going to tell you who that was. And there's people at the top with self-interest that, they just, there's 10, I think, on the committee. 7 want me in, 3 don't. The 3 that don't do not even know who I am. It wouldn't matter if I was Donald Trump. They don't want me in because they know I changed the self-interest part. But going forward, I know you have a hell of a lot of followers. And I'd like to give you more days, if possible. I know you got your contracts with AK and Star Sports yet, but the days you got off, if there's a fairly big meeting, I'd like you to come along, and I'd like you to not just the betting part of it, talk about the whole day, talk about the setup. I'd ask Alexis, who's the champion trainer, to do an interview with you. Anything to promote the sport.
If you send us the fixture list, I'll put it on my website, simonnott.co.uk, underneath this interview. And it's good that you're obviously pushing forward, even though you've got a little bit of resistance by the sound of it. So you're in Thailand at the minute.
Yeah.
There till what, February?
February 27th.
Yeah, and you reckon you'll have actually been on the beach by then?
I might have walked past there. I don't like sand in my toes. But
I wasted on you, Thailand, isn't it?
It depends.
Don't like the beach.
Depends how you look at it. The people here, I think the people here are fantastic. I say to the lady who comes to clean the room, "Oh, clean tomorrow, thank you very much." And I come back and tomorrow is spotless, and and they smile at you, and nothing's too much trouble for them. You can go out, you can enjoy yourself. You're not thinking like, what's this going to happen, what's that going to happen. You can drift from bar to bar. There's a few people out there. Mark Winstanley was on the flight I flew out on. Mark Winstanley was on it. I don't know him, so I didn't speak to him, but I got a few mates out from the betting.
No wonder nobody can ever track him down.
Sorry?
No wonder nobody can ever track him down. It's very elusive.
Or maybe I dropped him in it then.
Anyway, so what your immediate plans? Are just going to carry on as you are, Brett, with as long as your man keeps coming up with it seems a little bit precarious if you've got one guy that gives you all your info. What happens if he suddenly decides not to?
Well, I think we had this conversation 2 years ago, I think. So,
we did, but I'm still thinking it.
Well, if you remember, I think the first 3 bets that you got informed about, we did bet a 33-1 winner, 13-2 winner.
We did.
I know, we're on a bit of a bad run. Our last 7 or 8 bets have lost, but at the time, you think, oh, it's you knew about it at bang on the right time. That was the best 3 weeks we ever had. But
I thought the golden goose had landed.
I can remember having a conversation. I raced to Wolverhampton on a Thursday night, and you kept me to say well, nobody in the world had fancied this. Well, don't worry about that. Which one. I've had 2 bets for the try at Cheltenham in the Triumph Hurdle. I bet Hello Neighbour at 25, and I bet the unraced horse of Nick Henderson at 25. 3 weeks later, Johnny Deneen and the other gentleman on Up the Ante, Jennings, they are putting it up. He knew 3 weeks ago that he'd, allegedly beaten John Bond in a gallop. Do you know what I mean? But we're going along fine. You know what I mean? That's just ticking along absolutely perfectly. There's not enough. There's not enough top class stuff, but the stuff that Well, I am going to tell you if I.
No, you don't.
You know,
So, well, hopefully, Brett. Well, thanks very much for your time.
no, never a problem.
Hopefully, we'll catch up with you again later in the year. If this series goes, if this series is watched and carries on, we'll hopefully catch up with you again. And thanks very much for your time now. And I look forward
No,
to
never a
Trotting.
problem.
Send us the dates, and I'll stick them on the website. If you're
Okay.
watching on YouTube, simonnott.co.uk. And Brett Lloyd, cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Lovely to speak to you.
It's a pleasure, Shane.